Wild Bill, and I play my own music and I play other people's music, and I enjoy it. Some of the great old songs of rock or rock and roll, the Stoned Age when I was young and looked pretty. I like to play them, but I also like to play my own songs. But all the time I was working in bands, I was never playing my own songs. Nobody wanted to hear those. They all wanted to hear Jim Croce. They all wanted to hear the Everly Brothers. They all wanted to hear Eagles, Beatles, Billy Joel. And I don't mean the patrons. I don't mean the owners. I mean the band members and the people I worked with. They weren't interested in Wild Bill. They were interested in playing somebody else's music, getting blasted, and going home. In some bands, get blasted, get laid, go home. In some bands, just go home. But generally, no one was interested a bit in my original music. So I was really wasting my time working in bands, working in acts, all those years, because I was working against my individual personal contribution to art. My bid at immortality was given up for people who wouldn't care about me if they passed me under a bridge. Eric Clapton would not drop a dollar down. But I played his songs better than he does. Who's going to know? Right. I'm insignificant compared to these guys. So I'm not interested in playing other people's music to the sole exclusion of anything else. I'm more interested in playing my own music, which is why I post to Facebook, which is why I post to YouTube. Because if my music isn't played, it won't be heard. And if I don't play it, nobody else will. And it isn't because it isn't good. It's because people are programmed by the mass media to think of only certain things, certain presentations, as being worthy of being reproduced. It's funny. I play a song on a single piano and sing. Well, the song that you or me loves from the radio has got wall of sound. It's got 90 duplicate tracks to make everything sound fuller. And it has strings, and it has echo, and it has, oh my gosh, it has normalization, it has auto tune, it has all these things you can do to make it perfect. And of course, I can't do that. And I don't mind, because I'm all about that live performance, that moment in time, right? Art is an explosion, as Daedra on the Naruto cartoon series would say. But if I'd stayed in bands, if I'd stayed performing live in other venues, I would have never worked on my own music. And I didn't really start promoting my own music in a major way, I mean, against other people's, until I started posting to YouTube. And YouTube did something for me that I would not have done for myself. And they didn't do it because they love me. They did it because they love the owners of Google, love other rich people, and they have an agreement that if anyone plays songs that someone else wrote that those sponsors own the rights for, those sponsors have control over that content, your content. If you play a Beatles song, those sponsors that own the Beatles' rights have control over your content. If they see it, they may say, oh, isn't that nice? And like go on to something else. If they see it, they may say, oh, that's way too good. That's going to take views away from ours. And they'll call Google, YouTube, and say, excuse me, but this guy is using copyrighted material. Please take it down. I'm putting a strike against it. That's what they call it. In order to avoid having strikes against your channel for copyright infringement, which is a big deal, by the way, I think that the way they approach it, the way the rights holders approach it, and who the rights holders are, I think that's all a broken system that really needs fixed. But I have no power, so I'm just, one voice in the wilderness, coming in and out of the wilderness with the wasps still in my beard. No, I don't do that for anybody but an old friend. But anyway, YouTube, Google made me concentrate on my own original material by their refusal to allow me to interpret other people's material freely on their platform. Golly, I just said that right, like I was literate. Huh. See, my mummy would be proud. And I have to abide by that as best I can. Even though I want to be seen, I want to be known, I want people to laugh and, wow, hey, that's Wild Bill. I'm not going to be able to do it by using other people's things, other people's ideas, other people's songs, other people's dance routines. I'm only going to be able to do it by using what makes me unique. And that is so good. I can't think of anything that could have been better for me. Not well intended. They didn't mean it. They just meant to control who's getting the money for those songs. It shouldn't be me. And that's perfectly fair compared to how things are legally. And of course, they have no right to take any money from my original material, which is in most cases better than theirs. I feel sorry for them that they're like dogs in the manger about material that just isn't that good. There's stuff all around them that's better. Ah. But I'm not the content holders. I'm a content creator. I'm not the rights holders for that other people's stuff. I'm a content creator. And as far as the rights go, read the stories of the big rock stars, and they will all say that they were robbed by the big companies. They were robbed. So there is a tendency here. I'm sensing modus operandi here. You know. And so you are best when you are thrown upon your own creativity, not deriving from the creativity of others. You won't have Google to worry about. You won't have YouTube to worry about. You'll be able to post freely as you want about anything you like, as long as there's no certain keywords in it, because if you have those, you'll get a strike. And you'll be able to post your own original music, your own original dance, your own original art. Look, this is a painting I did. Look, my mommy put this up on the refrigerator twice. It's so good. And that's how it should be. Not because the law and giant cold-hearted corporations think it should be like that, but because in art, all you should care about is what makes you unique as an artist. You should not in the least be concerned with somebody else's dried out, worn out stuff that you didn't have a hand in. You should be creating. I have friends who are very good cover artists, and I admire their ability because many of them are better than me at it. They could walk into Van Morrison's band tomorrow and play. Johnny Sundo. Am I right? Yeah. And I couldn't. I couldn't walk into any band and play tomorrow. I'd have to learn how to play like their style. That would take me away from who I am. And I don't want people to say, yeah, there was some guy, some bald guy playing piano. He was pretty good in that band, in that Fleetwood Mac wannabe band, or that Beatles copy band that can't play very well, or that, because none of them can. If you're a tribute band, you suck, and you know it. And you should be working on your own material. Because on your own material, this will be hard for you to understand. You never suck doing your own material. I wish I could use better words for you so you would know that I'm saying truth here and you would get the communication. If you do your own stuff, there are no criteria for whether it's good or bad other than yours. And if you say this is my stuff and it's good, then it is good. Why are you letting somebody else tell you it sucks? Now they can tell you that the way you play the Beatles sucks, because it does. They could tell you the way you play Moody Blues sucks, because it does. They could tell you the way you play Elton John sucks, and because it does. And there are reasons for this. You don't have a whole band. You don't have $1 trillion industry powdering your bum so it sounds better. You don't have 1 million takes, and they select the best one. Or even worse, they did it all to a click track so they can just plug parts in and out, and suddenly it sounds like you're a genius even though you made terrible mistakes every time. They just clipped them out and clipped other parts up. Wow. They can do that, but they can't make a person better. You know what makes a person better? Concentrating on their own material. There's where I'm talking about. That's the point I'm trying to make here. My desire to ascribe to YouTube's guidelines, which clearly state, if anybody goes to look for them, that I am not supposed to publish other people's copywritten intellectual property, right? Has forced me to concentrate on my own original contribution to art. And as I am unique, I am an artist. As I am not unique, you could replace me with a camera. Yes, no. So you should be concentrating on what makes you unique. You should be concentrating on your original material. And if you haven't done any original material, you haven't done an original painting, you haven't done an original dance, you haven't done an original song, you haven't done anything that you feel is original, well, why not start today? And then when you post to YouTube, nobody's going to give you a strike because you borrowed somebody else's stuff. They'll be like, hey, well, this is this person's stuff. And so they say, is it good or bad? And they'll say, like, I don't know. It's different. Listen to it for yourself. Isn't that what you want? Sure is what I want. Okay, that's all. See how this goes. This runs too long. Nobody wants to